Hey guys, Guru Mike Panda by Warrior Martial Arts, and it is day 16 of Filipino-American History Month. And I just want to let you all know, I understand that I didn't film a video yesterday, day 15. My boy Ethan was actually really sick yesterday, so we had to make sure that we took care of him. He had a stomach flu, so we had to make sure we took care of him, make sure that he was okay. But I'll make sure that I make up for it in this video. Okay, now a very common question that we get in by Warrior Martial Arts is the aspect of the stick fighting, okay? And a lot of people, especially those from the firearms world and the modern day self-defense world, they ask us, what's the point of training with sticks? All right, because obviously it's 2017, we live in the United States. Odds are, if you're the average American walking around this country, you probably don't walk around with a stick in your hand. You probably especially don't walk around with a 31-inch rattan stick in your hand. So what's the point of training with the sticks? Okay, and this video, we're gonna talk about some of the reasons why we train with the sticks in Fighting Warrior Martial Arts and why you should consider training with sticks too, if you don't currently do so. Now, the first reason we do it is for tradition. Okay, I'm a Filipino, I'm a Filipino-American, and as to honor my ancestors and to honor the traditions of the Filipino people, we train with a stick. So part of that is a traditional reason. Now, historically, the Filipino natives, when they were colonized by the Spanish actually outlawed the brandishing and use of blades. Okay, so the moment they colonized, they immediately banned training with the blade. Okay, so Filipinos had to be a little improvisational, and they had to be able to adapt their weapons training to the next situation that they were facing. So they realized that sticks were a very inexpensive and very field expedient way to train the movements of the longsword or the blade. Now, obviously, a sword and a stick are not the same exact thing, so eventually the Filipinos realized that, well, there's a lot of stuff we can do with this stick that we can't necessarily do with a sword. Okay, and vice versa, of course, but the stick is a very versatile weapon, which is reason two why we train with it, okay? Now, a sword, a firearm, a blade, they are all lethal force implements, right? So I'm severely maiming, dismembering, and killing somebody if I'm running with a blade or a pistol. However, sticks are excellent tools because they're very versatile, okay? If I want to make sure that I'm operating in a less than lethal fashion, okay, especially for those of you who work in law enforcement and security, I can target the bones of the wrist and the hands, I can target the elbows, the kneecaps, okay? And maybe large muscle groups, all right, with my stick to inflict pain and damage without necessarily killing this guy. If I want to operate from a less than lethal option as well, this can also be used for grappling techniques, okay? Pulling in, choking, all these different things. Now, if I feel that my life is on the line or the life of a loved one is in danger and I have to take it up to lethal force, then I start targeting above the neck. So neck, throat, eyes, head, okay, cervical spine, all these things. So this weapon is not just used for lethal force, and it's not just used for less than lethal force. It can be actually used for both. Okay, so that's a very important thing to factor. If I want to go less lethal, I can hit non-lethal targets on the body, maybe choke, take down, grapple with this particular tool. If I want to go lethal force, if I'm forced to do that, I can aim for different targets above the neck for that purpose. Okay. Another reason why we do this is for the attribute development aspect. So there's a lot of talk in Filipino martial arts, especially in the West, about how the stick fighting and the knife fighting develops attributes. Now, there's a lot of people for some reason that think all Kali is good for is just attribute development, okay, which is not true. This is a combat art. This is an art that you can depend your life on, okay? So when we're talking about the stick, yes, this does develop coordination. In fact, if you see some of our videos, we train seniors, we train different athletes in how to use a stick to develop their hand-eye coordination, okay? Now, if I'm using this, the cool thing about this weapon is that it's longer, it has a little different weight, longer weight, heavier weight. So I'm using this for different motions with whatever I'm doing. It's actually training the muscles and the tendons in my body to operate at a better level. So if I go from the stick, okay, and I'm using the leverage, okay, increasing the tendon strength, increasing my coordination with a longer, heavier tool, and I transition to a smaller tool such as a blade, as you can see here with my Atienza Kali boar tusk, okay. If you see me running this blade, if you can see it's kind of dark, but my hands become faster, they're smoother, okay, and they're a lot more coordinated because I'm using a much bigger weapon, okay. It develops that leverage, develops that coordination that I would need using that stick. So there is definitely a physical conditioning and attribute development aspect to training with sticks. All right, guys, so those are the three reasons why we train with the stick, guys, and I highly recommend if you're not currently training with a stick, please do so. All right, guys, so that's episode 16 of Filipino-American History Month. I hope to see you guys tomorrow on day 17. Take care, God bless, and remember to be the hero in your life.